Hi, I'd like to demonstrate how to add the basic parts of the JSON settings. So while listening to my background music, so let me begin with this account. You can just impersonate producer demo, demo dart producer component or producer design. So let me go directly to the JSON setting again as a review of our JSON setting. So we have the main parts of the JSON setting. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So I don't want to discuss about the component settings and the free components. As you can see, it has no data in it, and as well as this and this, the version and the add menus setting. So what are the important things here are the global variables, the common components, and routes. So let me begin with the global variables. So what are the use case of the global variables? So, and we have a lot of global variables. So when you say global variables, from the name itself, it should be globally available and can be accessed by the setting commonly on the component settings and routes. So let me just dive in deeper into the global variables. So this one is just for the JavaScript, so the script implementation. And this is the, of course, it's all about the changing the component, the loading screen. And this is the area where you will just change the loading screen and the header with search. And there are a lot of these. Let me just go one by one. We have the module settings, header, footer component, work with the us component, the blog post per page, header setting. There are a lot of these. We have the font settings, header, text 1, text 2, and let me go through not by one by one, but the use case of the global variables. So let me just minimize all the settings here. Area links, we have the search bar settings, image introduction setting, another style, and the commonly the one that we're using, the if we are going to create a specific path for this, so we'll be using the path. But I think it was the implementation for, it was built for Compass clients only. So we will be using now, we'll begin to discuss about the common components here. As you can see, we have the footer component, the work with us component. These are variables. Let me just demonstrate for you to be able to take a grasp of how this one is working. So let me just expand and let me just copy this. Before modifying the settings, you can just copy the entire setting and paste that in your local text editor. You can use a notepad or VS Code so that you can have a backup of this setting. You can just copy this, and we'll try to You can use your shortcut Control F if you're using Windows, or in other case, if you're using Mac, you can just hit Command F, and we can search all instances of the footer component variable. So I'll just go through, and you can see right now that we have the second appearance of instance of this component. So as we go through, um, I'm hitting the enter key using my Windows machine. You can use your return key if you're using the Mac, and yeah, we can see a lot of instance of the footer component. So basically, global variables are just setting or global settings for the global which can be used globally. Like for example, let me just take this component. This section is the footer section, and since it will be tedious to change the setting per page, so the use case of the global variables or global variables, like the footer component, is to just have one place to set, correct, and update the setting. So you don't need to go one by one per page. In this case, we have, let me just go through, we have this page, this page, another page. So we're not repeating the setting. And let me go to the main setting of this under the global variables. So if I need to change the global setting of the footer, so I will just go here and change the necessary information. You can change the description, background color, and everything. So the same is true with other global components like work with us component. You can also search the instance of this. You can go here and again Control F, Command F if you're using Mac, and hit enter or return if you're using again Mac machine. So we have the work with us. As you can see, work with us goes first before the footer component. Again, we have 2 out of 16 instances, the second instance of this component. So this is the use case of the global components. Work with us is this. Instead of changing the text here per page, so we can just use the global components or global variables and set the global work with us component. So this is the use case of the global components. Of course, there are a lot of global components. If you just wanna check the instance of or the where in the global settings, the entire global settings, the instance of this global variable, you can just copy and paste. So we have 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 instances of this. So basically, as we can see, this is the data provider component, and we can see it is being used as a limit or the value for the limit. So basically, the blog posts are just going to limit 10 items per page, something like that. So other instance is this. So if you want to change the global setting, so you can just set this to the desired value, something like that. Of course, there are things in the global variables that we don't need to change. So we have also the global fab icon or favicon, the header settings. So we can see now the use case of the global variables. So global header settings are basically the menu items, and like this is the exact order of the item. We have the properties. Let me go to the main website so that you can see. And this is the global setting, header setting set in the global variables. So, and this is ordered based on these items are arranged based on the order of the menu items in the JSON setting. We have the developments and the developments. What else? Let me just minimize this. The home val, the third item, and the third item in the header menu item. Yeah, you can just walk through the entire setting of this. So if you want to change the global settings in the client's JSON settings, so you should go inside the global variables, search every item that you need to change, and basically that will affect the global setting of the client's page on the front end. And there are a lot of settings here. We don't need to discuss all of this, but again, you can just copy the name of the global variable and search the instances of this setting. In this case, we have the CMS Tag Settings. So this is for the CMS section, and we can start to see what is the use case of the CMS tag by just looking into the detail of this. As we can see now, we have the H1. Again, this one is using another value. This is another variable. We have the header one, and so on. Again, if we can see this, we know that that is a global variable if we can see the $sign value. So let me prove this. We can just copy this one and search the instance of this. We have 4 instances. Let me go to the first instance. Yeah, this is basically the header one. It goes first before the CMS tag settings. So if you want to see the detail of the header one variable, so now we can start to see the font family, the font size, the font weight, line height. This is all about the styling of global styling of the header one setting. And yeah, this is for the media query. Basically, if the screen size will sync into the minimum with 768 pixels, so the font size will automatically adjust to 7 pixels. So this is how we can see all the use cases of the global variables. Yeah, you can even search the instance of the value. And yeah, if we can see the $sign value, that is basically pointing to the global variable. So this is the key takeaway here, the $sign value. If we can see the $sign value, then that's using the global variables, one of the global variables. Again, we have here a specific account. This will technically this will pull up properties, sold properties under the account. You can go here, so you can search the value of the account and the details of the account. And you can go all of the instances, go through the instances of all these settings and take a look at how the dollar sign value is being used inside the client's website. So let me know if you have a specific question about the global variables, and be happy to jump into a direct discussion. Thank you.